So in this video, I'm going to be using Photoshop's Generative Fill tool to restore an image. And stay until the end because I'm going to be using this newly generated image in Canva to create a completely new graphic. Let's get started. Okay, so we've got this image. I really like it already. I don't think it's going to need that much restoration, but I'm going to make a few changes. So firstly, let's use the rectangular marquee tool. And I'm just going to select around the image, select the inverse, and then generate this. Not liking that. I think that's the best one, but there are some mismatches in terms of the generation and the actual image. So we can regenerate this. Again, use the marquee tool to select the areas you want to change and click generate. Okay, that still has a gradient mismatch. Let's look at the other two. No, I like the last one the best, so let's use that. As you can see, all of the gradient mismatches have gone more or less. If they haven't for you, then you can just carry on using the Generative Fill tool until you're happy. Now what I usually do, and this is a tip, is I go and I select all the layers and I create a group with them, and then I duplicate this group. So let's do that now. And the reason I do this is because I'm going to want to merge that group. And if you merge the group, you lose any access that you had to the Generative Fill, and you don't want that. So if you have two groups, then the one group you can keep and then you can reuse or you can regenerate, and you'll still have all of that information. And the second group you can merge together and then export or just drag and drop into another Photoshop file if you want. In this case, I also want to change the color balance, though you can use the curves tool or you can use the hue tool. It really depends what you want. I didn't really want to make too many changes to this image as I really like it. So just going to change a bit of the magenta and the blue tones. I think that looks quite nice. Okay, I'm liking this vibe. Let's also check our image size and reduce this if it's too big. This is because if you import a file size into Canva that's too big, you either can't or it will take quite a while, and I find it quite annoying. You can export this as a JPEG and you can decide what quality you want. I've chosen high with a quality of 60, but also remember that the higher you go with the quality, the larger the file size. Okay, now let's open Canva. I'm going to type in vintage and look for some vintage layouts, though I'm not really liking this that much. Instead, I'm going to look up retro. I think that'll be more fitting with the image we currently have. Okay, these are what I'm looking for. The blue one's standing out to me, so let's have a closer look. Let's go for this one. Right, so let us first import our image. Just upload files, and there we go. Now I'm going to push this image back behind all of the graphics as I want it to be our background for this graphic. Perfect, and then let's enlarge the image. I don't know if I want to take up the whole background. That looks about the right size. Make sure the lines match up. It will show you when your image is in the center of the canvas. I'm going to make this reminder box a little bit smaller so we can see the ladies and some of the ocean background in the image. Now I'm going to set the transparency of these graphics so that it's a bit lower and they look a little bit opaque. Then I'm going to change some of these colors on the graphics. Now, as you can see below, there's a photo color. You can see below, Canva already has created a photo color palette from the photo we've used. But I'm going to go back into Photoshop. And I'm going to choose some of my own colors because I'm not really loving the colors it's chosen for me. Let's choose a bit of the pink. That's nice. I like that one. So just copy its hexadecimal value and paste it in. Yeah, that looks great. Once you've pasted a color into Canva, it will remember it, so you can just reuse it for your different graphic elements. Next, I'm sampling the orange from the sunset, which I also want to include in the graphic. I'm happy with that. Let us change the reminder color as well. You can play around with this. I like the purple that I sampled earlier. So I'm gonna leave it like that and play around with some of the other colors. Just gonna play around with some of the font colors. Okay, perfect. Lastly, the logo can be changed. I'm just gonna type in Polaroid inspo. And you can change that graphic, but I'm just gonna leave it like it is. I think that looks fine. Next, I'm going to use ChatGPT and I'm going to ask it to write me a retro inspirational quote. I mean, I don't know if you guys know any, but I definitely don't. That's not okay. Let's regenerate because I'm not happy with that. Bit cheesy, but we're going to go with that. It's really hard not to be cheesy with quotes. Let us go with that and let us change the going to change the font size to ensure that there's only 2 sentences instead of 3, because I think it will look a little bit cleaner. Lastly, let's add a background and ensure every graphic element is lined up properly. I think the purple's too much. I'm going to leave it as a light beige in the background for now. Moving around some of the graphics, and then if you want to select something or select a graphic, you can either click the group or you can click shift as you're selecting the different elements, and that will just allow you to move stuff around more easily. So now let's look at the before and after. It's before and it's the after. So that's just an example of how you can use Photoshop's generative fill to restore an image and then create a completely new graphic or social media post with it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button so that I know you are enjoying this content. If you want to see more tutorials on Photoshop and Canva, then please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.